morning.
Should we cheers?
Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. I've been sitting here for 10 minutes, and I'm starting to wake up.
Whoop. Cheers.
Cheers.
It's kind of a tradition with us.
The cheers and good morning
Yeah,
thing.
even if we've been up for 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah, but we haven't been awake totally.
The moment we can sit down and actually enjoy our coffee is
and
when
do what we want to do, which is talk to each other and talk about ourselves.
Yeah, we love to talk about ourselves. And we love to talk to each other.
Yeah, but I think we should start on a little bit more serious note, or a lot more serious note.
About how this week has been hell on earth.
Yes.
For it.
We really talked about whether we would maybe even do a serious episode this time, but we're going to do that next time, or coming up. We're going to talk about
trigger warning.
Yeah.
About sexual assault, and I think both of our experiences as women.
Yeah,
is a good way to put that. But a lot more about. The screen just gave a thumbs down when I said that.
It's still giving a thumbs down.
The screen is a Republican.
What is that?
Why are you giving us a thumbs down? That is actually...
Say the word women and see if
women.
Okay.
Women.
Okay, it's not giving us a thumbs down, honestly.
Oh my God. You can't make that stuff up.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this, basically the recording app we're using just gave us a thumbs down.
When we talked about
women. Supporting
women.
Women's rights.
That is a very sad sign of what's happening.
Yeah. So if you can't tell, we are two pretty liberal women who have experienced, I think, I hate to say it, but probably most women have experienced
sexual assault.
And we were extremely upset about the election and how that turned out. And we've had a lot of discussions. We were going to record last week, but I was too angry.
Right.
I had nothing, I just didn't feel like I could be positive, honestly, and do a funny podcast. Or if we did the serious one, I think I would have been too upset.
Right. So we are going to talk about some of those issues in an upcoming episode.
Yeah.
And we are thinking about our country right now and all the pain and suffering that is caused directly from such an election.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
it's a hard time.
Yeah, it's a bummer. And if you're listening to this and you don't agree with us, then I hope you stay and listen and maybe learn some things.
Right.
You won't on this episode, just so you know.
Right.
You won't.
You won't learn anything worth learning.
It's just a lot. There's so many factors, and a lot of this is, my anger is based in seeing my Black friends and my LGBTQ plus friends feel scared.
Right.
And it is the reality that they've been living in anyways, for their lives, but it just to have it validated like that is extremely upsetting.
Yeah, extraordinarily upsetting.
Yeah. So, anyways, we just wanted to get that out of the way, and we are going to do I think this is inevitable. We've talked about this from the beginning,
right.
Not with you guys, but that the nature of diaries is not always funny.
True.
You were a comedy writer, and you are a comedy writer.
Yeah, but my diary is more serious than funny.
Yeah, and I think it would not be authentic of us not to address the more serious parts. And I think for me, hearing you, because it took you a while to even tell me what you wrote about in these.
Right,
because
it's been a very gradual...
years and years. She wouldn't let me read her diaries just willy-nilly. She only lets me read
Right.
certain parts of it that she thought I could handle, and that she was processing herself because
Right.
you know
Still am.
yeah. And anyways, I think for me hearing this stuff is a lot of it is what I went through at the same age, so it is kind of like cathartic for me to like hear that my mom had the same kind of mental health struggles I
Right.
did,
Right.
and but in different ways. So anyways, that's that. We got that serious stuff out of the way.
Yeah.
Now should
And
we
we
dress-
hope you're all doing as well as possible.
Yeah, we love you, and thanks for being here, and we hope this can provide like some sort of escape and or safe space for you, that if you do feel hurt by the election, and that you can just like come here and laugh and have a moment to get away
Right.
right now. And that's kind of why we decided not to do the serious episode right away, because it just everything feels so serious.
Yeah.
That it's nice to escape for, if not 30 minutes, and have a good time. Should we address the elephant in the room?
Which one of us is that? Look at the
The giant,
Oh yeah.
the
The giant
face
Lynn of the
you.
giant Claude.
Yeah, the giant Claude in the room.
Yeah.
This was an accident.
It was an accident?
Well, I didn't mean you were an accident.
Okay, here we go.
I
Go ahead and explain why I was an accident.
Okay, oh my god. Is this karma? Okay, for those of you who are not watching this or just listening, there is a giant poster of my mom when, how old were you?
I would say I was about 15 or 16.
Okay. From a photo booth that she had done, like a film photo booth, and it's our logo.
That came out in one of those strips of 4
Yeah.
pictures.
So it's our logo on our website, and it's just kind of like what we've used. And so we had our vintage market last weekend, which we can go into because
That was great.
it was amazing. And I was like, oh, I need like some sort of signage. I didn't know I ordered a poster this large. I actually had to go to Goodwill and find.
Makes me look teeny sitting next
I know it's massive, but like, hey, maybe it's good for the pod now. But it was funny because I placed it at the. Well, let me backtrack. I had to go buy. I bought a frame for it that was way too small, and this was a big frame in my opinion. And I was like, oh my god, what have I done? And then I went to Goodwill and found this like really ugly like old Home Goods canvas, and so I just taped. I had to cut. It's like folded over. This isn't even the size. It's bigger than this. I had to fold over the sides so I could make it. Anyways, here we are.
Okay, they're fast forwarding through this part.
Yeah, they are. Here we are, and I think we need to start with what is on that we have placed on the poster.
Yeah, we are very excited about this.
Yeah. Do you want to explain?
One of our fans,
Shout out. Okay, we're not sure if you want us to use your name or not, so we're not going to use it, but you know who you are.
right, gave us these 2 gifts specifically to put on our, I think the person
Our
said
altar.
our altar, or I think they said mantle.
Yeah. Or altar, whatever. This is my mother's diary's altar.
Ego.
We need yeah. So they gave us a hat, a Bissell Brothers hat, and then this, which is like the best thing ever.
It's so cool.
Do you want to describe it? Because I would love to hear what you think this is.
All right. Actually, I think I'm in trouble. I think I'm in big trouble describing this. So this appears to be a little creature. Am I right so far?
No. I guess like
Well, it's
depends
little.
on- yeah, little's good.
All right. So is this a creature from
Well-
a particular?
Well, describe what little is, because think of the people who are not seeing.
Okay,
this.
little is 2.5 inches tall, maybe 3.
What is it?
It looks to be like something from Star Wars.
Yes. Good job.
Oh, am I right?
Yeah. She was a nerd all along.
I've come a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a character from Star Wars, but I don't know which one. Cool hands.
What do you think that their name is?
Oh God, I should have prepared for this.
Do you
ahead
think
of time.
they have a name?
Well, I think maybe they are part of a group of creatures,
Yep.
and that they have a name. I'm not sure if this is an individual character.
Okay, you're getting somewhere here.
Great,
I want you to name it.
but can you give me multiple choice?
No,
Instead of-
I want to
instead
hear.
of
I want to
blank?
hear what you think that they're called.
I don't know because I can't think of what Star Wars people were called.
Star Wars people.
I know it's not Princess Leia. I know it's not Harrison Ford, but I wish it was because Harrison Ford is hot, and
Yeah.
I am.
If you see this to the person who gave us this, could you bring us a tiny Harrison Ford, please?
Harrison Ford. Oh my God, shrinking.
Okay, you're
Harrison Ford shrunk.
Oh.
Okay, I get it. I'm making the connections.
Okay, yeah. We will call him from now on Harrison Ford.
But he's not. So what is the name?
No, I want you to make it up.
Listen,
I want you to get creative here.
Like, I can't think of what those characters were called.
I think you,
because I'm not a Trekkie.
if
I'm not a Trekkie.
Star Trek is different from Star.
Okay, we've already gone off the rail. Okay. Rails.
Okay, the single rail.
Oh my God,
Ugh.
I'm not into
Just
Star
say-
Wars.
It
What's
doesn't
that-
matter. What would you name it if you were the creative director?
Oh
you
my
were
God, that's a
writing-
lot of
If
pressure.
you were writing this book, what would you name it?
Listen, I'm generally funny, but I can't.
That's not true.
I can't think what I would name it. Little guy. No, I would.
Little guy.
Okay, so I'm creative and generally funny.
That's what someone who isn't funny or creative would say.
I know. So hold on. So when I'm trying to come up with names of characters, say in a story or whatever,
Yeah.
I take a pad of paper
Yeah.
and I start brainstorming. Little guy would be the first thing I'd write on here.
Yeah.
But there's no way I'd use that.
I kind of like it. Little guy.
Yeah, but this is an actual character. Oh, in the back it says something. 011? Is that what it says?
No, I think that's their buttons. But like not for us to press, but like as the character. Like I think that's their like,
Okay.
their lights are like.
I think they march forward.
Yep.
Boom, boom.
Maybe sometimes they even march sideways or backwards.
Oh, they're a dancer.
Yep.
Those dancers on Fifth Avenue on Broadway, what are they called?
What are they
The
called?
chorus line?
Broadway. What are they called? Someone's screaming at us listening to this.
Yeah. Okay, we're getting ridiculous. Let's
Yeah.
move on.
Okay, but do you want to know what they're called?
Yes,
I will die if I'm wrong because I'm also not.
I will die laughing if you're wrong.
Stormtrooper.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Of course.
Of course that's a stormtrooper.
You thought that.
If you had given me multiple choice, I would have chosen that.
You asked me if this was Harrison Ford.
Well, I didn't.
And then you said I'm not a Trekkie. So. All right.
Anyway.
All right. Well, we are calling.
happy with our stormtrooper.
We love our little guy. He's our little guy now. So, anyways, thank you to our listener that gave us this because it has brought us a lot
It's
of joy.
brought us
It's
joy.
also brought my mom a lot of anxiety because she does not trust that I won't lose it. Even when I brought it here, she was like, "Where is it? Where is it? You need to take care of it." And I'm like, "It's here."
She lost it
No,
for a moment.
It just fell down. It just fell off of the hat.
I know, but if you could see my house, you would understand why
Yeah,
I am
should we give them a house
concerned-
tour?
No. you would understand why I'm concerned that if we drop something.
I think if you've been here for long enough, you can probably picture what this house looks like.
Yeah. One time when I was in college, this relates. The state of my room in college was about like the state of this house.
Yeah.
I dropped my toothbrush and couldn't find it.
Just in the abyss.
Yep.
That's kind of how everything gets lost in my house.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. If you drop something,
There's a black hole, I
can't
swear.
find it. Plus, now I can't bend over.
Yeah, she does have an earring under her bed she has asked me to retrieve before I leave today.
Right.
Well, anyways. You got anything to say, little guy?
I'm happy to be here.
That's his voice. It's just like a slightly different version of your voice.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here. Okay. So, what do we want to talk about today?
Well, I have a couple of medical issues to talk about. And you think I'm going to talk about my medical issues, but I'm not really.
Okay.
So I've been to a lot of doctor's appointments in the last couple of weeks, and I'm okay. We're figuring things out, but
That's why I'm here.
it is.
Well, yeah, you asked me to bring you to a bunch of doctor's appointments.
Oh yeah.
What are you talking about?
So
You got your boob squished.
stop it. I had a
mammogram.
mammogram. Don't be disrespectful. But I was thinking, I went to one doctor and I got back a report about myself.
Oh.
And it said that I was a, quote, very pleasant 71-year-old woman. Very pleasant. Not pleasant.
Very
Pleasant. So I'm like cracking up when I'm reading this. I'm a very pleasant. And I got thinking about, what's the medical definition of a very pleasant woman? And I thought it was unusual. And then I found another doctor had written very pleasant.
Is that like a thing you
Like,
check off?
So that's like, what? This is what I want to know. What are the other categories?
Oh my god, I'm actually scared. I want to see what doctors have written about me.
Very pleasant.
Lunatic.
It's like is very pleasant at the top?
Yeah, it must be like a multiple choice.
Yeah.
It must be like very pleasant, moderate.
No, come. This is gonna be a better one. Boring. No. But there was an episode of
Already forgot their name.
No, that wasn't funny.
You
So there was an episode on Seinfeld at one point where Elaine gets a hold of her medical records, and there's something
remember that.
unpleasant in there about it, and she's outraged that they've written that about her. So I should have checked out what that episode really was.
You know what that reminds me of is the restaurant I worked at in Boston. When we were really busy, we would write a description of the person waiting, and we got creative with it. We're like, looks like tiny, shrunken Harrison Ford.
Ooh, I want to sit at that table.
You're
Even
sitting
if
at
he
that table
even if
right
he was
now.
tiny and unshrunken. I mean shrunken.
Unshrunken.
I meant shrunken. That's a hard word to say.
I'm trying so hard not to make a dirty joke.
Yeah,
right
don't
now.
make a dirty joke.
Okay.
I got former students listening.
You do
Maybe
not.
one or two.
You do not, and they're probably in their 60s now.
Yeah, shrinking. Love that show.
Okay, but hear me out. One time someone wrote a description, and this woman, I'm pretty sure this is what happened. I could be accidentally lying, but sometimes we'd be like, bitchy woman with red hair, which is how I would describe myself. But one time someone wrote it in the box that prints on their receipt by accident, so they received the description. Because usually what would happen is in the system you could write it in this like notes, and this notes part that wouldn't show the customer. But this woman received bitchy red hair, and someone got in trouble.
I would think so.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me. But sometimes we'd be like, we would get real descriptive with it. Because what else are you going to do? We were bored. We were watching people describing
It's good.
them.
It's good creative writing practice.
Yeah, it is.
But you could hurt somebody's feelings.
Yeah, and we did. And I actually, that woman probably was being a bitch, so I don't really feel bad.
Yeah. So, that was just an interesting thing. Me cracking up, of course, and immediately sending a text to my children like, oh, the doctor described me as very pleasant. And then I'm like reading another description, and I was also very pleasant. Now, either I'm extraordinarily like a wonderful patient person, which is possible, or they're just calling from a what do they call it, drop down menu, and they're clicking on the one that most likely describes.
I want for you and your ego for it to be both these people are like, wow, she's very pleasant. I'm gonna write that for myself, but I'm pretty sure it's a
and
selection.
It probably is, and pleasant is just a weird way to be. Do you want to be? I don't want to be pleasant.
No, and you know what? Well, don't worry. No one thinks you're pleasant if they've been listening to this podcast. Wait, I told you that I had an experience at a job where my boss and someone else, two people, had a discussion about how the worst thing you could possibly be called is nice. And then about a week later, one of them said, "You're just so nice" to me. And it was such a Regina George moment. I was like,
who's Regina George?
oh, Mean Girls. Did you ever watch Mean Girls?
I've never watched it.
Oh, we should watch it. You would love it. But Regina George is like, there's a famous scene where she says, "Wow, I love your skirt. Where did you get it?" And then she's like, "It was my mom's in the 80s." And they walk off, and she was like, "That's the ugliest fucking skirt I've ever seen in my life," to her friend.
Wow.
So, anyways, that was like, were you not aware that I was in the room when you said the worst possible thing you could possibly call someone is nice, and then you called me nice a week later? Like, I was there. I heard you say that.
So I was having a procedure done this week, which required lots of needles in my arms. In other words, they're trying to draw blood. Or
lots of needles in your arm at once?
No, it wasn't acupuncture.
Which we should go back to because I have something to say about acupuncture.
Is it funny? Because we'll go back to it if it's funny.
It is funny.
Okay. Well,
You're really questioning my humor right now.
Right. We need funniness.
Yeah, we do.
So they had to, I'm trying to think how to say this without you going in a wacky way.
I'll be good.
They had to stick a needle in me 7 times.
Same spot?
No, 7 times, 3 phlebotomists.
Lobotomist?
No.
That explains a lot. You've been acting pretty stupid recently.
Do you know what I actually said?
Yes, I do know. It's called being funny. You told me I need to be funny.
Okay.
Here I am being funny, and then you're questioning my intelligence?
3 different phlebotomists pricked me a total of 7 times.
Hot.
And they kept telling me they wanted to give up. One of them goes,
because they couldn't find a vein?
maybe come back tomorrow. Now I'm already lying down and have gotten up to pee like twice. So I'm like, no, we're getting this done now.
They didn't give you the thing where you can just keep peeing while you lay down.
Darn. So, all of a sudden, a woman who was the third one brought in from an outside source. She's the emergency if you can't get the needle in person.
An outside source?
Well, outside of the room.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
they had to call her from another department.
They called her from the street.
She comes in, and she tries to stick it in, and all of a sudden she goes, "You're a roly-poly." Like it's a noun. You're a roly-poly. Now, I've been a little sensitive to such words lately. Because I'm feeling a little more roly-poly than usual. And I said, "Did you just call me a roly-poly?"
Wait, what was her response?
She said, "Your veins, they roll, when I try to put the needle in. So I can't."
Sometimes I would love to get in the brain of someone interacting with you because I know that this is how you came off. Did you just call me a roly-poly? And like you have the scariest face. You're just like, did you just call me a roly? And she's probably like, oh, this woman thinks I called her a roly-poly, but I'm just talking about her veins, and now I have to explain myself. She's all nervous, and you're like, no, that's funny.
And then she stuck a needle in another spot, and I started bleeding, and I'm like, "Is that usual?" And she goes, "No, but you have delicate skin." And I said, "So I'm a delicate roly-poly?"
A DRP.
And I think on their summary they must have written, "She was a very pleasant patient."
Roly-poly.
Roly-poly. I wish I'd said that.
Wow.
But they were like, "You are so," afterwards, they were like, "You are so patient. You have, a good sense of humor. You're so patient." And
what are you going to do?
so I am taking my compliments anywhere I can get them lately, because if it has to be at the doctor's that I get my compliments, so be it.
You're taking them and then you're actually texting them immediately to my brother and I, so we give you more compliments and validate them. And then you're on here talking about it again. And I'm pretty sure, actually, in between this time, you called me to tell me the roly-poly story.
And then last week, now I walk with a cane about at least half the
Boo.
time. What? What's that mean?
Just walking with a cane.
Oh.
I thought it would be.
So at least half the time I use a cane.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm in Hannaford, heading to the bathroom, and this man comes out of the men's room as I'm going by with my cane, looks down at my cane and said, "I'd ask you to race me, but you have 3 legs."
Does he not know that classically is a dirty joke?
Well, I wasn't thinking that was a dirty joke.
Well, classically,
Okay.
saying a third leg is a dirty joke.
God, how did I get into that? So I don't know. I wasn't thinking of the dirty joke. I was just thinking of, why is he saying that to me? Like, I feel like people are attracted to me to say weird things.
Yeah, you give off that energy,
I'm
lady.
simply walking to the bathroom.
You just have that energy.
I'm just simply walking to the bathroom.
You
And
probably
this guy
dig-
just
I
comes
bet you
right
were
out
like,
at me, looks at my cane, and says that. And it's like when I was walking on the waterfront and the woman came up to my cane and said, "Is that fun?"
it's a blast.
And what she meant was she thought I had a metal detector. And then she was wicked embarrassed, but
I do feel as though we could patent that and make a dual. It could be a cane and a metal detector.
yeah.
So then maybe canes could feel a little more fun.
Maybe. And then there was that guy. We probably talked about this before. That guy at Rockland a year ago.
Oh, we did a This Is Where with that.
Right. Comes up and just looked at me and goes, "You look like I feel." Like this decrepit guy looked at me, did not know him, and said, "You look like I feel." And I'm like processing.
You know what? Here's
I
something.
look, and I said out loud, "I look like you feel?" And he's like, and then he starts telling me it's heart failure and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
We do.
What is happening?
We attract that. Like people telling us things like suddenly opening up where you're like, uh-oh.
But in that case, I was just being.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's an energy thing.
I had no energy.
Yeah, but that's part of it. There's something about you that is like, you just are. I think. See, this happens to me too, but I think it's actually a good thing. Like people are comfortable around you.
Well,
like you make people feel comfortable. Even just like your presence is like, I could tell this lady something.
Yeah, but They're not just telling me their own things.
No, I know.
They're. Oh, then another time, I'm walking backwards out of a restaurant.
Why? First of all, explain that. Why are you walking backwards out of a restaurant? That's insane. I would say something too. What are you talking about?
Can I rewind? I have to walk down. I have to walk downstairs backwards.
Yeah, she does have to do that.
You know that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've been in a restaurant with friends.
Yeah.
Had a wonderful time. One of them's ahead of me and one of them's behind me. And I start going down the steps and I've got my cane. But I'm going down the steps backwards so that I don't fall and never be able to do another podcast again.
Yep.
And this guy is coming in with his wife or his girlfriend and says very loudly, "Look at her. She's had more to drink than I have."
To be fair, not only do you give off a kind and like easy energy, so you
But
can,
I was backwards. He couldn't even see my face. Sorry.
but you also look like you're drunk half the time. Thanks for letting me finish my sentence.
For the record, I do not drink.
Yeah, she's been sober how many years?
20-something years. Oh, God.
Everything's falling in the cracks.
So I thought when that guy said, "Look at her," about the drinking, and then I've had more to drink than he, like, I thought it must be somebody I knew. Like, that was my first reaction. It's like, oh.
I do feel like that's a fair assumption.
I thought, oh, somebody's being funny. They know me, and Linda, who was in front of me, my friend Linda, thought for sure that he knew me. She's like, "Who was that?" I'm like, "I've never seen him in my life." She's what?
You know what I feel like? I do feel like if you believe in the woo woo, I think it's like Annie and Gran sending you these people to say funny stuff to you. It feels like a Gran. I didn't know Gran,
right,
but it does, from what I've read through your diaries and the stories you've told, seems like a thing she would do.
could very well be. I'm gonna think of that.
God, I am freaking doomed when you die.
Oh, for all kinds of reasons.
Yeah, God.
Who's gonna buy your
Can I tell you
coffee?
something sad? Who's gonna buy my coffee? First of all,
Can you tell me something sad? I think I need a moment.
yeah, we did have $50 soup yesterday for lunch. I had this moment last night. Well, we were gonna watch a movie last night. We're gonna watch the new Aubrey Plaza movie called My Old Ass, which was funny because, well, okay, let's backtrack. We're like, we should watch that together. It seems like something we would love. And then her Fire Stick wasn't working, and then I spent about 40 minutes trying to get that to work, and then she's like, "I have a new one somewhere. I don't know if this is the new one, the old one. It doesn't matter." We get it. I actually have no idea where I'm
You
going.
want to tell me something sad?
Oh, okay, yeah. So I'm like, she's like, look in the second. She has like all these random spots for things. Like, it's kind of organized chaos. She's like, look in the second drawer down in my clothing bureau. That's where all the electronics live. And I'm like, what? And I had this moment where I opened to look for the new Fire Stick that I was like, oh my God, this is like a portrait of you. Like, looking in that drawer, I was like, this is what, like, I'll be going through one day. Alone and sad.
It's gonna take you 3 years.
It's just like, I just had that moment where I was like, whoa. Like, my mom's just, like, really lived in this house for a really long time.
She's back. That reminds me of the time I'm gonna... What?
Where's the little guy? Where's the stormtrooper? He's right here. He's
Oh, I'm so sorry.
least you wash your hands.
Yeah, unlike the appointed Secretary of Defense guy.
Welcome back, by the way. What an entrance. Oh. He's kind of like us.
Okay.
Stop moving.
Oh, that's impossible.
He wants uppies.
Okay.
Okay, welcome back.
So, tell me something funny.
Tell you something funny. What an awful thing to say to me. Well, you didn't want me to talk about the needles in my back. I wonder if I've already said this, but it reminded me of getting acupuncture because you said that.
Right.
And this is why I think I might, she's going to call me a diagnoser, but this is why I think I have slight OCD. Because I went to get acupuncture. It's supposed to be like this like really relaxing thing. And it did help. I will say that ultimately. However, the entire time I got it, I was so stressed that for some reason the ceiling would fall down and all the needles would go through my back.
Would fall down? What is happening here?
It's the ghost of your past. Okay, if you're listening, the stormtrooper and us are having a time.
Okay.
He fell right when I said fall down.
I know that. I'm well aware that we have officially entered the world of aliens.
Well, speaking of, there are aliens.
Yeah, apparently Pentagon says so.
I think the funniest thing about that, well, I always feel like they do that when there's like something else going on. And
the aliens?
They're just like, oh, let's talk about all these other alien things. It's like, yeah, you keep doing this, but when other stuff's going on.
If Trump wins, let's release an alien report.
Yeah, it's like, okay. And the funniest thing to me about that is that, like, at least on, like, the media I'm consuming on, like, TikTok or Instagram or whatever, all the comments are like, we don't care. Like, we don't care. Are you going to forgive all of my bills and my loans?
Right.
Which is just, like, I feel like very telling of the nature of, or the state of our world right now. Where it's like, we don't care that, like, that there are aliens in the ocean. I kind of assumed they all lived in the ocean, to be honest. I am married to someone who is like an alien. He's
hunter?
An alien hunter. No, he's just really into that stuff
Yeah.
and tells me about it. Oh, now I'm unraveling. A string.
Okay, get going.
Today, Junior. Well, what am I supposed to say? I don't know.
Did you finish your acupuncture story?
That's it. I thought the ceiling was going to come down. All the needles would go through me. Not one part of that was relaxing for me.
That is so. It's so funny the thoughts that go through people's heads. Like all of a sudden,
I always think I'm always gonna like. I'm waiting for the tea in Boston. I have to tell myself, don't jump, don't jump.
I know
because I want to. So
I know
bad,
that feeling,
but I don't want to. I just like want to. You know what I'm saying?
That's like really crazy, but yeah.
Or like, what if I just drove off this bridge?
Yeah, I do know what you're saying, which is probably not what most people feel, but I get it. I mean, it sounds
most
really
people
nutty.
don't think of hurting themselves constantly on accident. It's not that I want to do it. It's that it's like this intrusive thought that said, it's like, what if you did that?
I don't think that most people have intrusive thoughts. I think a lot of people do.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think that most people do. I think
It seems like a lot of people do when they say them to you. Out loud. They say their intrusive thoughts out loud to you. You do have some sort of spell around you. But to be fair,
say whatever you want to me.
do you ever feel like you're standing somewhere and you're like, you have to actively in your head be like, don't say that, don't say that, don't say that, don't say that, don't say that.
Yeah, I usually think that after I've already said it.
Oh, I do it before and then I can't help it. I say it and I'm like arguing with myself in my head like, you said you wouldn't say that. But I had to. What is that?
It's not good impulse control. bottom line, which is a key part of ADD.
Okay. Diagnose her.
Yeah, I'm diagnosing it from all my decades of teaching.
Yeah. Where were you my whole life when I had ADHD? Didn't know it, and
I
then
did.
just got diagnosed
I
2
didn't.
years ago.
I never thought that you had ADHD.
Yeah.
It never occurred to me.
But that is because
but-
all the research was done with men. And
Right.
boys.
But to be fair, to use one of your expressions,
To be fair,
to be fair,
you have to say it in a British accent.
it was before this what you just kind of said, but it was before there was there would just I'm sorry, I'm not saying this clearly. You would only have a couple of kids in your class that you might think were ADD. Now it's a lot more.
Yeah, because all the studies done on ADD were about
and they were
from
boys. They were boys for sure.
That's why. Because
It would be. I don't even remember the
Females-
first girl I realized was.
girls are more internal with it than
Yeah.
like my ADHD is very internal. I wasn't like a kid who was like la 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 la.
Right.
But in my head I was.
Right. And I didn't recognize that, which is
Because you have it too.
true.
You just are like, this is our quirky personalities.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. But
Oh, I gotta crack my back. Okay. Do you think I should get another dog?
no,
Okay, well, you would say that. You said I shouldn't get a dog in the first place, so.
I didn't recall saying that, but I might have.
I think you've said no about everything I think I should do. My whole life. No, you shouldn't do that.
I've bitten my tongue many times.
When? No,
times.
no, no, no. This is actually this. We were talking about this yesterday. She is notorious. This is my biggest pet peeve with her. Is I'll say like I was about to do something and be like, oh, I decided not to do that because of X, Y, and Z. And I'm not kidding. Every time her response is, yeah, I was gonna tell you that.
I just want you to be aware of.
I was gonna tell you. I actually thought of that before you, and I was gonna tell you
Who
that.
bites their tongue more, me or you? Me.
Me.
No, I guess that was a dangerous question because
Me.
I just kind of like try not to say anything, which, for those of you who follow us, must be surprising.
Hey, Mom, don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Okay. Yeah, mother-daughter relationships are interesting.
Yeah, we actually did get into a fight yesterday.
we did, but it was more.
It was cathartic. It was it started as a fight, ended as a good conversation, I think.
Yeah.
Which I hope that for everyone, that they can
Right.
be mad at their mom and then not and be able to talk about it. Because I do. We've had many. I don't know where this is not getting funny. You went pee, and for some reason it got real serious. But we've talked about how we've had many conversations in our relationship that have made us feel closer
Right.
because they were hard conversations to have. And we had one last night, and I do feel better. I
Right.
feel
Me too.
heard, and it's good. Because this is no easy feat. Spending this much time with your mom or her
Right.
with me, because we are both opinionated, similar personality people, and I know about me that I'm not always the easiest person to be around.
Yeah, I think it's unique. And then to put on top of it the business that we're in, or
our
doing
business,
doing the pod,
none of your business.
doing the podcast and the other things related to that. It's fun. We're having a lot of fun with it, but it certainly has its degree of stress
Yeah.
for both of us, for a different level, even though we try not to make it stressful.
Yeah, it can be stressful, but it's fun. Ultimately, it's fun.
Yeah.
There's mostly fun, tiny bit of stress. Okay, I think we need to talk about yesterday, our adventure, because I would love for the people to see my finds, my thrift finds I got yesterday. But my mom and I came this way not even to do the podcast really. I needed to bring her to a few appointments. So I came here and we went to a few thrift stores.
Right.
Got a lot of scores.
Right.
I did a whole fashion show for my stepdad last night. He actually took a shirt from my
It's great.
from my
A golf
finds.
shirt.
It fits him well. Anyways, after the second appointment, we'd already gone to two thrift stores together. She had sat in her car for half of one of them. And this is common. She'll bring her laptop and just be like, I'm going to sit in the car. And I actually know she's totally cool because she likes that. Like,
Yep.
she's cool in
I've
the
always
car.
got something
I don't
to do.
feel, like, stressed about you ever. Like,
She doesn't even think of me.
Yeah, I know.
When she's out of the car.
I left you with the keys, left the car on, but do you want to describe from your point of view what happened yesterday after I picked you up from your mammogram?
She's parked close to the edge of a river or an ocean. I know there's a difference.
A
but-
river or an ocean? Mind you, she lives on coastal Maine.
And I taught geography. Throw that in there before you do. Anyway, I'm in the passenger seat. The car's running. I'm happy.
Whoa.
It's
Pause.
toasty. I've got heated seats.
I posted you there. I parked you there because I thought the view was beautiful.
The view was nice.
Okay.
But at a certain point during this eternity, I thought, what if the car lurches forward? And then I started thinking, does she have that tool I gave her last Christmas to break the windshield?
Oh, no. But I actually think about that. I don't know where it is.
Okay. So anyway, I'm sitting there and like maybe 20 minutes goes by. And I'm okay. I'm editing my diary, actually. Of course I am. Any chance I get.
The thing about her is she's always working on this project. Always.
So all of a sudden, this sound comes. It's kind of like relates back to the aliens. It starts going, and I'm like, what the heck is that? And then I remember that
They're coming from the ocean.
it was in the car. Well, you know that. It was
Yeah.
in the car. So then I'm thinking, holy moly. She's got an electrical problem with her car. It's going to cost thousands of dollars. She already told me that her car window goes down and then goes up by itself again.
That just was recent. That's over the last
Exactly.
day.
That was recent. And I'm like, okay, it's going into meltdown mode. But then the other part of me is like saying, and I'm looking out over the river ocean, and I'm like, I hope it doesn't lurch forward, the car, like I said. And
Yeah.
I'm trapped in the car. And so, but I'm like, Lynn, Claude, Lynn, whatever. I'm like, don't panic and don't text her yet. And then the noise stopped. So, good. Back to typing my own words in my
So
diary.
How long have I been gone at this point?
25 minutes.
Okay.
Which she was going in a little thrift shop in Little Blue Hill, Maine.
Yeah, vintage shop. It was like a curated vintage store.
she'd
that
never,
I've been
she'd
dying
never,
to,
she'd never been in there.
but I've been dying to go in.
Been dying to
Oh,
go.
Man down. 2 men down.
Where's the stormtrooper?
He's under your arm. Oh! Okay. You're coming down here.
All right. So, and then all of a sudden, I'm hearing the same thing, and I'm looking at the radio panel, and it kind of comes on, but I can't really hear the radio, but and I'm like, oh, I better text her. So I texted her and said something like, your car's making a weird sound. Never responds
Wait.
to me.
Do I have my phone? I don't know. It's probably under you.
Never responds to me.
Yeah, I was shopping.
And I'm thinking, she's not even looking at her phone. Okay. And then it stops again after 5 minutes. And I'm looking around, and her panel would light up. And then it happened a third time. And I texted her one word with 2 syllables. You who? By then, it had been what? A half hour
Yeah.
or more?
I was probably in there, to be honest. If I'm being honest with you all, probably 40 minutes.
And she comes out. She's got goods. One of which,
Okay, you want me to go from
Yeah.
here? I didn't look at my phone while I was in there. Would have been rude. I was having a conversation.
never mind, she's left her old mother in the car for
I did
30
multiple
minutes.
times say, my mom's sitting in the car, but she's fine. My mom's sitting in the car. She's fine. It's fine. But I was making a new friend. I've been wanting to go into this shop. It's called Juniper, and it's in Blue Hill, and Amanda owns it. She's amazing. She gave me a dress that I tried on in there. Do you want to see it? Okay.
Yes.
I bought a skirt, too. That fits me perfectly. Maybe we'll do a holiday episode. I can wear one of these.
Oh boy, I love the holidays.
Okay. This is the one I bought, and do you want to describe it to people who are listening and not seeing?
So does it have hollies on it?
Yeah.
It's a holiday dress.
It's like a
skirt.
It's kind of like a folk art.
It apparently has sheep skin on the bottom.
Not skin. It's like
Wool.
It's like a wool. Yeah.
It's
not,
vintage. It's vintage.
It's not skin.
It's vintage.
It's like
wool.
Wool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it's very nice.
And then got this 70s.
It's so pretty on her. It fits her perfectly.
Maxi dress. You won't be able to see the whole thing if you're watching on YouTube, but it's like, it's not even doing it justice showing it here. This is what she gave me for free. Do you want to describe this dress too?
Flowing red. I don't know if you'd call that paisley, would you?
Yeah.
Paisley
got, like,
with
bandanas.
umbrella arms.
Oh. Yeah. Great. It has a hole, but on the seams that I can sew. Anyways, thank you, Amanda from Juniper. I'm so excited about that. I have a new friend, and we might do a pop-up together. So
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
yeah, she's very cool. And if you are in Down East Maine, you should go and support her business. She's very kind and has a lot of cool stuff in there.
And we had a really successful fun time last week at the Lost and Found in
Oh my
Portland.
God. We did slightly talk about that. Stormtroopers on your elbow, by the way.
Okay.
Also, this is like a metaphor for you in my life.
So we met. Hillary knew a lot of people that we met, but I met a lot of people, and probably scared the 3 fans I met that go to USM.
Oh, that's actually, I'm glad you brought that up. These 3 girls are like
Women. They were
Women.
like in their 20s,
oh
early
yeah.
20s.
I just, now that I'm old, I'm like, everyone looks like a baby to me. Yeah, these 3 women who go to USM were like, we love your mom so much. We go to USM, and I had just walked over. Before they said that, this is what I walked to. My mom talking to these 3 young women, and she just goes,
What did I do?
the first thing you say, I have no context to this. I don't know they go to USM. I know nothing. She says, we're going to their dorm. I'm like, what? And she's like, we're going to their dorm. And I was like, why are we going to these 3 young women's dorm? And then they were like, we go to USM and we love your mom on TikTok and blah, blah. It was really sweet, but we're going to their dorm?
So when I meet people as a result of being known in some circles, my first reaction is the same kind of response that I would give to anybody, especially like when I met a new student. Like, I want to make them feel comfortable and heard
Yeah.
and appreciate. And I want to, so I've got all these things going on in my brain. Like, I know that they like talking to me apparently, but I really kind of want to reach out to them, and I want to remember
Yeah.
their names. And so I have so much going on in my brain, and I used to be really good at remembering names, but as I've gotten older, I'm not so much. But I'm also very impulsive. No kidding. And so when they said they were from USM, I started babbling.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. And I said, oh, I'm writing my memoir. And right now I'm writing about my freshman year in college, and I've been reading my diary. And for my memoir, I need more sensory details. I said, I've been thinking I wanted to go to the dorm where I lived in room, whatever, 413,
Yeah.
whatever. And they're looking at me. And I said, I'm going to come to your dorm. And then that's probably when Hillary came in.
Imagine this. Oh, it gave you the thumbs down. Imagine them and like you just invited yourself to these girls are like they're like the 70-year-old woman that we follow on TikTok just invited herself to our dorm. Unreal. And then announced it to me as if I was a part of the conversation the whole time.
This all took place in the space of 2 minutes.
Yeah. We're going to the dorm.
It takes us longer to talk about it than it happened.
You saying the word dorm is one of my favorite things. So just added to the whole, like, we're going to their dorm.
Like, I don't even
If
know.
you girls are listening, they don't listen
Yeah.
to the podcast, actually. I did tell them to listen to the beauty pageant episode. Because
Right.
They
Because
would.
that took place
at
near the
USM.
dorm.
Yeah. But I do actually think they reached out on social media. So
We need to tell them we talked about him in the pod.
yeah, and maybe we can actually, maybe we'll go film you going to
To the dorm! Hey, yeah.
Yeah, I think we should make that happen. Because I actually, when I went to USM, we may have talked about this.
Yeah, we did.
But my dorm room was the one right next to my mom's dorm.
yeah, I
The
think
door next door to them. It
Yeah.
was, yeah. I can't remember. It was like 409 or 4.
something. I had a couple of different, I had 2 or 3 different rooms.
Yeah.
Little roommate trouble.
I had a little roommate trouble there, too.
Yeah. It
I
happens.
actually, yeah. I only stayed there for a semester. It wasn't for me. I didn't like
we
the
can
dorm.
talk. I think we saved the dorm life talk, which I loved it partly and I
Do you
hated it
think-
partly.
Do you think this is just me this is spitballing? Would it be fun to bring our recording equipment and like
Do a podcast?
do a podcast and like have you tell them stories about the 70s at USM and then they
Absolutely.
relate because they were really cool. We should reach out to them. I think that would be really fun.
Absolutely.
We could sit in the dorm and do a pod. Oh my god.
I think I'll have to lie on one of the beds because that's what I noted in my diary, that no matter who was in my room, I liked lying on my belly and talking to the people.
It gave you a thumbs down again.
It sounded ridiculous.
You want to like kick your feet up in the air and just like have a little gossip session? Yes, I love this. Ooh, oh my god. Yes, I'm thinking of all these stories from when I was in the dorm.
Yeah.
I think that'd be so fun.
We're going to do
We're
it.
going back. If you 3 girls, one of you is listening to this, or all of you, we're coming to your door.
That's right. Stay tuned.
Yeah, we'll take you to dinner at the
At the cafeteria.
It's on us.
Where the boys used to
I
make
actually-
fun of me. Fun of
I
my
actually,
walk.
if you've been listening to the pod for a while, I have yet to bring that check
Oh, God.
to USM to see.
We could do both things.
I actually don't know where.
Oh, for God's sakes. This is enough. This is enough. And for those of you who didn't listen to that episode, she recently found an uncapped check from USM. How do you have... We're
Hidden-
not rich people. People.
We are. I could actually really use that right now.
Yeah. People are going to want to know what...
I don't know.
She put it away originally because she couldn't deal with it.
I have mental health problems.
Okay.
We already went over this in a
Right,
different
so
episode,
we
but
don't need to talk.
I did want to give that really unsatisfying
I had
update.
kind of forgotten about it, which was a good thing.
I wanted to give that
Unsatisfying update. I like that.
Yeah. So, anyways, is that where we should end this episode?
Yeah, I think we've...
We'll end this in complete disappointment and disgust from my mother.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Dead Gowns, for our song. And actually, I actually just shot a music video for her. You should go check it out. And then she's coming out with a new album on February 14th.
You keep pointing at me, so they're going to think I'm coming out
I'm
with a
actually
new album.
not. Are you sitting over there?
Yeah, look at There's 2 pieces of me.
2 pieces of you?
The poster and me.
Okay. But she's coming out with a new album on Valentine's Day next year, so and it's gonna be awesome. So you should check it out and watch the Super 8 music video I did. I'll put it in the
You should.
description.
It's great. It's
Um,
absolutely great.
And she's great. She's amazing. So what else do we need to say? Thank you to anyone else except for ourselves? Oh, thank you to. I mean, we've already thanked you, but like
That made our day.
the stormtrooper, the little guy, the Harrison Ford, whatever you want to call him, made our day. That was like, I have to say, we didn't say the part where this person came up to us and said, I love your podcast so much. And we both said, you listen to our podcast? Because we cannot. We're like, why? Why?
Which is so nutty, but honest to God, that was our reaction. We're standing in front of him going, you do?
Meanwhile, like, he's like a little nervous to say it, and we're like, you listen to our podcast? People listen to that? But it actually, I think, made us both a little emotional because it did. It's really like
This really was sweet.
it kind of feels like it gives us a purpose because sometimes this feels like self
Right.
What's the word I'm looking for? Self-involved,
Yeah.
or like it's like this. It's for us,
Yeah.
but like it is such a cool reminder
It's
that
a cool reminder that we have an audience.
we're like, oh,
that-
people actually like listen to this and resonate with it, which is like amazing. It's so cool when people resonate
Right.
with your art in general. Like it's like, wow, okay, I'm finding my people. So anyways, that was like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, it was great.
So thank you and good night.
Good night.